In 2024, OpenAI, a US company specializing in artificial intelligence, stopped more than 20 attempts to interfere in elections worldwide using ChatGPT. This search is not surprising. The media has called 2024 the mother of all election years, with more than 60 countries holding elections and around 4 billion people eligible to vote. Since AI became an integral part of our lives, it has been described as a double-edged sword, capable of opening new frontiers, but also posing significant risks, particularly in spreading disinformation. How vulnerable is the political sphere to AI's influence? And who will shape the most crucial political decisions, humans or AI? Let's take a closer look in our next report. In 2023, at the start of the US presidential race between Donald Trump and Joe Biden, the Republican National Committee's YouTube page featured a video created by AI. It depicted a dystopian future showing what could supposedly happen if Joe Biden were re-elected. The images were dramatic: explosions in Taiwan, thousands of migrants crossing the US border, and San Francisco overrun by crime. And this was far from the only example of AI being used in an election campaign.
In the Czech Republic, we saw a day before the vote, we saw a situation where there was a deepfake audio released claiming to suggest that one of the leading politicians who was polling really well, that basically his party were taking bribes from big companies. That dropped literally 24 hours before people went to the polls, clearly with absolute nefarious intent, but no one could trace the point of origin of it. So it ultimately just, made people wonder, is this true? Is it not true? And that tiny seed of doubt is actually probably the most dangerous part of AI, because as people go to the polls, anything that undermines the credibility of some of the leading candidates can have very dramatic effects.
Although Google, which owns YouTube, is now required to label all political videos created with AI, experts warn that this is not enough. They say such videos can still be highly dangerous.
We're getting to the point where content in general that is AI generated is so lifelike and convincing that what you do is you sow a seed of doubt with people to whether it's real or not, whether they can trust it or not. And that's a very, very dangerous thing, because once you get to that particular point, any politician who has real, actual negative content thrown at them by members of the media, whose job is to hold them to account, can simply claim that's not real, that's AI generated.
Today, technology has advanced even further. It's no longer just about creating fake content. AI can now do more than simply categorize people into groups. It can target individuals directly. It's the difference between regular phishing and spear phishing, a precise and highly focused attack. In politics, this means that propaganda, including misinformation, can now reach each voter in a highly personalized way.
Spear phishing with AI is using freely available data on the internet, which is brokered at the moment, which is like your personal information from the internet, everything we know about you, your search history, your purchasing history, your travel history, all that is available freely by brokers online already. Using AI to analyze that data set and then to find out and fine-tune exactly what are your specific triggers, and then to build a targeted campaign so that you see that content, is definitely well within the scope of what's possible with AI.
However, measuring the true impact of AI-generated content on politics and elections remain extremely difficult. The influence of disinformation is also hard to quantify. Research shows that fake news rarely changes voters' opinion entirely. Instead, it tends to reinforce the beliefs they already hold.
My suspicion with many of these trends we're seeing, these early signals that we've seen in the recent elections that we did in our analysis, is that they're actually, all they're really going to do is just compound and exacerbate existing trends we're seeing, things such as an erosion of trust in governments and information sources, deepened political polarization, the kind of consolidation of echo chambers. All of these things, I think, deepfakes and AI threats are just enhancing.
Last year, the European Union passed the AI Act, requiring companies to take precautions when developing artificial intelligence. However, experts point out that limited involvement from the business sector has left key details unregulated. This raises an important question: can governments, businesses, and society reach a consensus on AI?
If you had asked me that question a year ago, I would have likely said that we need robust regulation to try and manage what are called the alignment issues with AI, which is trying to build AI that basically aligns with human values and ideally ethics. At this stage, given the bromance, widely referred to as the bromance between Elon Musk and Donald Trump, I'm leading into the idea that basically it is very likely that Trump will remove all regulation. In just the last week alone, at the AI safety conference that happened in Paris, the US and the UK, surprisingly, both opted to not sign an AI safety regulations kind of memorandum to say we're going to commit to these values. That is very, very worrying.
Election manipulation through artificial intelligence has been named one of the most significant global risks of 2025. This conclusion comes from experts at the World Economic Forum in Davos. According to them, AI-driven disinformation and political manipulation pose a threat on a par with climate change, wars, and economic crisis, deepening divisions in society. Daurin Asagulov, New Time.